This FastCast is the fourth in a four-part series on the modern HR service delivery. Part 4 discusses how organizations can create a business case for moving to a shared service center or adding best-in-class technology to an existing service delivery strategy. I'm Brian Hins, joined by my colleague Keegan Olson. On average, best-in-class service delivery can yield $35 to $125 of cost savings per employee per year. This depends on the scope of the service delivery model, how it is structured, and what is insourced versus outsourced, what systems and automations are in place, and the various cost structures of your operations. Throughout this presentation, we will discuss how to calculate your potential cost savings. This information is most likely required in some sort of business case to justify the spend of this transformation within your organization. There may be an organizational change or business process change or technology change. In most business cases, all three of the people, process, and technology factors need to be accounted for. We typically see one of three types of business cases required for approval. The TCO, or total cost of ownership business case, where the capitalized and expense costs need to be outlined, but the purchase doesn't need to be justified in the form of a payback. Typically, the TCO component of the business case is needed in all three of these examples. The soft ROI business case is a combination of the TCO spend plus the soft benefits on how this will help the organization. And lastly, we have the hard ROI business case. This is where we combine the TCO spend with the quantitative benefits that result in cost savings or a return on the investment. We recommend finding from who you need approval from, whether that is a single executive sponsor or from an executive steering committee, on what type of business case they require and in what format. You don't want to present one thing and have to go back to the drawing board if expectations are missed. If they require a hard ROI business case, make sure you seek clarification on those expectations. Let's start with the total cost of ownership. This typically takes the most work as there's a lot of meetings that go into creating these numbers. If you are going through a package selection, you may need to calculate the TCO on multiple options, likely at least the final 2 or 3 options. The costs are typically in 3 categories: software costs, hardware costs, and people costs. For software, it obviously depends if you are acquiring an on-premise package that is installed at your location or software as a service application that is hosted for you. On-premise licenses will typically be a larger first-year investment and also have ongoing maintenance fees. By the way, your first year starts when you make that initial spend. With on-premise software also comes hardware, operating systems, and database spend as well, and the IT cost to install and maintain. Another option is to leverage a SaaS application that has a monthly or annual subscription fee without the hardware or ongoing infrastructure maintenance costs. The next category is implementation. External consulting spend is always accounted for. Internal IT resources are also typically tracked, and sometimes the internal business resources are tracked, but rarely. If you have an on-premise application, you should plan for at least one upgrade every 4 to 5 years. Once implemented, there is usually an ongoing IT or business resource that is maintaining and enhancing the application to changing business needs. The last cost typically tracked is the cost of deployment rollout, which will have training costs. I recommend adding contingency not as a whole, but for each TCO category based on the confidence or risk you have in that estimate. You could also do this by year within each category, as estimates further out are less accurate. The most common business case is when benefits are combined with total cost of ownership. We typically see benefits organized into 5 groups. Increased optimization, which is identifying cost savings through doing things better, such as driving employee interaction to self-service, improving speed to resolution by matching the competencies and skills of the agent directly to the question or problem at hand, especially in level 2 and level 3 escalation scenarios. And reducing answer shopping by providing consistent answers using a knowledge base. Increased automation identifies cost savings by performing processes faster, such as automating creation of incoming emails as cases, or popping the employee profile from the employee ID via CTI, or bringing in employee data for quick resolution via integration with your HCM system. Increased employee satisfaction can increase employee retention, reducing the cost of training and turnover. By providing a multi-channel experience, employees can connect with HR on their own time and device. Improving consistency and quality of answers to employees by creating a robust knowledge base of policies, procedures, and documentation, and by surveying the population to learn how you can do better. Decreased risk can sometimes be measured in what is the cost of not doing something. Replace legacy and inadequate systems that may fail under the increased load. You may risk dissatisfied agents and employees if you remain the same, and decrease risk by effectively and illegally tracking disability and harassment claims from the beginning. Improve visibility via analytics by identifying root cause to improve training and communications across the workforce, identifying trends across divisions, geographies, or departments, and analyzing the performance of the HR Service Center and HR department. Let's start working on calculating the return on investment. One way of calculating an ROI is through determining the cost of interactions. We need to establish a current state baseline though. If we take your operating budget divided by number of employees divided by number of interactions per employee, that will give us the average cost per interaction. As an example, if your operating budget is $10 million per year and you have 10,000 employees per year, and on average, employees interact with your HR department 8 times per year, the average cost per interaction is $125 per employee. Let's break that $125 baseline cost down a little bit more. We need to establish where those interactions are currently being resolved and the cost of that channel. Let's say 2 are being resolved via self-service with a cost of $25 per incident. 2 are being resolved at Tier 1, first call resolution, with an average call being 15 minutes and the cost is $75 per resolution with the current technology that's in place. 1 is being resolved via email and the cost is $50 per interactions because it's not automated. 2 are being resolved in a Tier 2 group after being escalated from Tier 1, and that jumped the cost to $175 per interaction due to a lack of knowledge base. 1 was escalated or routed twice, and that cost jumped to $400. This gives us a better understanding of how that average of $125 per incident is broken down by channel. If we make the changes we discussed as benefits, can we reduce the average incident from 8 to 7.5? What if we move that other half incident from Tier 2 to Tier 0 and half of the Tier 3 incidents to Tier 2? By automating emails, we can reduce the cost from $50 per incident to $40 per incident due to a reduction in manual entry and lost emails and inboxes, yielding additional savings. What is the cost of training and ramp-up time for new shared service center agents? What if that can be reduced through better technology and a robust knowledge base? Is there a savings in replacing legacy technology with cloud applications? Is there a dollar amount attached to increase employee satisfaction scores, overall employee retention? Is there a dollar amount that can be attached to risk? Any employee litigation costs that can go down if data was better secured or cases better tracked? This all adds up, and there are other ways to slice the data as well, but in the end, does cost savings equal headcount reduction? Does it equal the same headcount for overall growth, adding more employees? Do you reallocate headcount to more strategic initiatives? You can determine in what year or years you gain these savings. They wouldn't start until after the implementation, of course. The savings can be compared to the spend, and that intersection determines the payback period. Thank you for watching the 4-part series on modern HR service delivery. Please visit our other 3 FastCasts on self-service, case management, and analytics for the HR Service Delivery Initiative. For additional questions, please contact myself, Brian Hins, or Keegan Olson, or visit us at our website, www.apexit.com.